Speaker, before 1st December 2016, all these Gambians who are beating their chests, that yes, we wanted, that we are bringing about change so that we can have this. I must say that 99.9% of Gambians never expected that change will happen. That is the truth. You expected nothing after 2016. Because of fear, dilemma, confusion, and a nation heading into war. Some of the people who are in certain parties who are part of the ruling feel that, well, we were going in the right direction, but eventually this brought about the change. We were heading towards war. The APRC headquarters was burnt. And many more of that was coming. Who knows, we may have ended up with a Gaddafi situation. Who was stronger than Gaddafi? Who on earth was stronger than Gaddafi? So this change was not a change for this party or that party. It was a change to save the Gambia, so that we will not lose this country, because we were heading towards losing it. So nobody should look at the past and hope that we'll return to it. And nobody should claim to be the creator of the present, because some were in prison at that time and needed to be saved. It is national effort that brought us together for a project of saving the Gambia. To create a Gambia where all of us will see ourselves, all of us will own, all of us will belong to, no matter the past, no matter the present. That was the objective. One Gambia, one nation, one people. We met together, and I must now declare that humility, I didn't want to make any. I was the first to invite presidential candidates, not parties. Because if we invited parties, people were so angry, especially one party whose leader was in prison. You call them Halifa Sallah and say, come and we make you a president. They will think you, Halifa Sallah, you are mad. That's why we didn't call parties, we called presidential candidates. And discuss until we can see that at least the presidential candidates are identified, no newcomers will come. We closed that and went into negotiation as to how to select one of them to be our flag bearer. That's how it happened. Any other thing is fairy tale. And we must thank, and I told him that when I saw him, that you will leave a legacy, and that is Dembo Bojang, that you will leave a legacy if we work together to make sure that this project works. And it is that Dembo Bojang who should have been chair, who told me, let me be chair. I said, you are the fitting person to be chair. He said, well, I must select Honorable Fatoumata Tambajang to come and join me to be co-chair. He is the one who selected Ajaratu Fatoumata Tambajang to be there, because she did not belong to a political party. That is the truth. Any other thing is fairy tale. We met. We eventually agreed, because none of us could be president. None of us could sell himself or herself. None of us could sell his party or her party. That is why we said, let's develop a tactic that can build confidence within us, so that whoever is selected, everybody will go and fight so that you are there. That is what brought about the 3 years. That let us meet, let us agree. If we have 3 years, you will not stand in the next election, you will also not support any side, then we will have a level ground for multi-party contest, and Gambia will be the most democratic country in the world. That is the agenda. So those who talk about 5 years, when that 5 years was being discussed, we knew that that's what the Constitution says. You don't need to negotiate that. That is the language of the Constitution. We only said 3 years as a tactic, not to deprive anybody of power, but as a tactic. And the tactic succeeded. We changed the country. Gambia became the darling of the world because the ambassadors did not believe it will change. The international community did not believe it will change. Everybody abandoned the Gambia. Even ECOWAS did not monitor the presidential election because they felt that there will not be a level ground for multi-party contest. Nobody expected the change. That is the truth. We brought the change, everybody was surprised. Everybody embraced the change. Not we in few people, but the whole nation. That's what I mean. We brought about the change as a nation. And everybody was surprised. And Honorable Speaker, we should have continued to build a nation, not build political parties. So if any of us sit here today in the name of political party, and you claim that you are in support of the coalition agenda, I will say you are not. Because when that coalition agenda was being torn apart by promoting party politics, rather than I, Honorable Speaker, was ready to resign from my party and stand as an independent coalition National Assembly member. I was ready to do that because that's what Barrow did. So that together here, we'll make sure that the coalition agenda will be fulfilled. One person cannot fight everybody. And the nation would have been stable. There will not be witch hunting of any sort. Nobody will be claiming anything. All these anomalies that are being said by our brothers and sisters from Fon, all this would not have happened because we would have been one people, reshaping the destiny of this land. This was the intention of the 3 years. But that was torn to shreds. And now you have an executive presidency who will appoint you and remove you as former coalition partners. Where is your coalition power? Do you have power to remove him? Do you have power to determine whether he sits 3 years or 5 years? You have no power, you the coalition members. You don't have a coalition. That is the truth. That agenda has disappeared. And those who now talk about agenda, coalition agenda, 3 years. Honorable Speaker, people must remember. On the 2nd, the former president accepted. I was in my home when the IEC called me and said that State House wants to talk to me as the spokesperson of the president. I said, give them my phone. Honorable Balajahumpa called me and said that, well, State House wants to talk directly to the president to concede. I called the president and said, leave this phone, they are going to call you. And all of us heard what was said because it was on national media. They conceded. Honorable Speaker, 1 week, there was a renege of the position. We knew that there was already a rolling back before you people knew. Because we had transitional forces that were supposed to liaise to facilitate the transition. But we were unable to meet. And we knew what that person who was heading their side told us. That's when we knew that vacillation was coming. Eventually, there was a reneging of the position, Honorable Speaker, and I'll come to conclude that very soon. The reneging of the position, what happened? Many people came to us and said, let's get up. When there were troops in the streets, sandbags, soldiers everywhere. And Section 99 of the Constitution says that if the nation is at war, you can prolong the National Assembly and the term of the president. We said, peace. His term ends 18th January. And when it ends, If he continues, he becomes a rebel. Anybody who's supposed to will become a rebel. That's what we told people. Calm down and wait to claim your victory on the 19th. And when ECOWAS came, they were proud. They felt that this was the most pleasing mission that they have ever carried. When they met people and found out everyone was ready and we knew exactly what we wanted, it pleased them. They accepted that they will also wait for the 19th and they will come and join us in the celebration. But they went and prepared their standby force. We asked them not to issue any military threat because the Gambian constitution says 3 months before the end of the term of the incumbent, we should have an election. So if we have an election, he still has a residue of time left. And we want constitutional legitimacy. We also want electoral legitimacy. We have electoral legitimacy. Now we'll continue until we have the constitutional legitimacy. Let's leave him to make himself an outlaw. That was the decision. We are now telling you, those who are talking about 3 years, that under the Gambian Constitution, Section 65 provides for resignation by any person who is president. And we were banking on that provision and amendments of the Constitution to carry out what was our agreement. But Section 65 of the Constitution says that anybody who is also elected has a term of 5 years. Both are in the Constitution. So if you elect a person based on Section 65 with an agreement that we all cherish to save a nation, and he comes and says that, well, now I'm going to serve 5 years, what are you going to do? Overthrow the person? So who is now on the side of legality? So let's understand what happened here. And Honorable Speaker, let me come to this conclusion. On the 20th of January, nobody could predict whether bombs will not fly everywhere in the country. Whether it was land, sea or air. Some people felt that change will never come except through war. That trajectory was changed by people in this country and dealing with the right forces. Not only Gambian forces, but also, not only with ECOWAS forces, but all forces. For them to see that internally we were at peace. Because on the 20th, everybody was inside. Where were you? Inside the homes. The streets were empty, markets empty, everywhere was empty. Who was going to remove the person from the State House? People in their homes? And Honorable Speaker, when there was resistance, you hear some young people say, we the young people, we did it. Honorable Speaker, they came and said, Gambia has decided. Start tearing things down. When the man said now that he's not going, what happened? They start arresting people. Nobody dared to put on those t-shirts. Some ran to Senegal. I'm not trying to, caricature people. I'm telling you the fact. These are facts I don't want to say, but you were forcing me to say it. And I will say it. And I was there calling me and the president to see how they will be released, those arrested, until we settle everything down. This is the truth. So where is power? It's the might of the people, the might of democracy that has made it possible for him to be sitting where he is and for us to be sitting where we are. It's the might of democracy, not the might of an instrument of coercion. That is the reality. So it is the president who can honor his mandate as per the coalition or honor his mandate as per the constitution. But as soon as he became president, he could no longer be controlled by the coalition. He is now under the mandate of a constitution. If he respects us and respects our will, So be it. If he does not want to respect it, then it is between him and the Constitution. And Gambians must bear in mind, and excuse me for lifting my thing because it's very arrogant. I don't want to do that. I'm not threatening anybody. But bear in mind that ECOWAS and the UN had only one role, which was conveyed to me very clearly. And the role was reversed a bit because of something, and I will conclude there, Honorable Speaker. That's something I'll tell you. Their role was to ensure that the elected president of the Gambia is seated and is protected. And when they were coming with that mission and to fight anything that was on the way of that. And they wanted to do more, in fact. We reversed that process and told them that here you will find no threat. Because all the security chiefs, everybody was united at that time that it's finished. Now everybody will owe loyalty to the new administration. So they were told that they will receive no threat. And they came in and received no threat. And all the workings were done to ensure that they live in harmony with the security forces in the Gambia. All that was done, negotiated, and people put in between. And we had the peace. But, Honorable Speaker, if there was resistance, there will be war, and we will not be here. I am still saying to Gambians that if you cannot manage your own security, outsiders will come and manage your security for you. If you cannot manage your own security, outsiders will come and manage your security for you. And that's what we wanted to prevent. That's why we asked them to change their mission to make it a mission of solidarity. And that worked in practice. But it's not a matter of law. It was a matter of practice. And they saw it. That's why they came and mellowed, and nobody could even see them, to the point that they were playing football because of the peacefulness. Because they saw that on the day that President Barrow was coming, thousands of people from the airport to his home were in the street to welcome him. Why would you need security under those circumstances? So in short then, Honorable Speaker, those who are talking about 5 years are wasting our time. Those who are talking about 3 years are correct if it is the 3 years of our coalition. But if it is another 3 years, they are wasting their time. Our 3 years has been wrecked. It cannot be reversed. It is history. Only President Barrow can redeem himself and say that, well, I will respect it, and then we proceed. But if he says that he does not respect it and will not respect it, well, it's left to him. Halifa Sallah will not come and give excuse for him that because of a transition, a CRC, or that is why he should stay in power. That will never happen. Because the CRC, we could have changed the constitution in 1 year. Honorable Speaker, let me therefore ask Gambians that this country does not belong to President Barrow, it does not belong to Halifa Sallah, it does not belong to this National Assembly, it belongs to the Gambian people. They are the ones now who must understand that a government, I'll conclude, Honorable Speaker, I know that I've taken too much time, but because of the situation, that's why I'm clarifying it. A government must be criticized, must be scrutinized, must be restrained, and then must be changed according to the Constitution if you believe in democracy. But change by overthrowing it if you don't believe in democracy. Overthrowing a government which does not have any means left for people to change it through the ballot box may become necessary. To overthrow a government which does not create any democratic base for the existence of a citizenry may be necessary. But where a government can be removed through the ballot box, you look for the term limit established by Constitution and then abide by that term limit and remove that government should you believe that restraining, scrutinizing, and criticizing it is not enough, that it cannot deliver, then remove it when the time comes so that you serve your purpose. So 3 types of Gambians are here now. Those who believe in that, who believe that President Barrow should honor his mandate because we have lost control of him and what we planned did not happen. But if he fails to do so, well, let the constitutional legitimacy remain and let him be removed through constitutional means. That's one group of Gambians. Those who believe that regardless he must go, that's another group of Gambians. Those who believe that they are giving him 5 years, which the Constitution already gives him, that is really a waste of time because, in fact, you are really affronting the Constitution by making a recommendation that powers that he already has. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.